as Greg. I have him muted, but as Greg is dealing with something right now. Hey guys, welcome to the After Show. Got about a half hour to burn before Greg knocks out, as we can see on stream.
I'm always tired.
Yeah,
Price you pay for getting old.
that is very true. That is very true. I can attest to that. I mean, that's the that I'm old, but definitely work has definitely been getting up there. Um,
Dude, at least you got a job that you aren't fucking depressed at, so be happy
that,
about that.
that's very true. Well,
I shouldn't
that
do that. I shouldn't say that to you because I hate when I complain about my job. People are like, at least you have a job because I fucking hate that. So I shouldn't say the same thing to you.
right. Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, I could definitely point out to things that at my job where they wish they could have done better, but I'm not. So, um, but yeah, it is Thanksgiving time, and I'm just kind of curious. What's your Thanksgiving plans for this next week?
Well, at first I thought I was going to be working, but I forgot that Thanksgiving is this upcoming week and not the next week.
Mm-hmm.
And I have Wednesday, Thursday off, and I need to contact my buddy because I always go up to his house for Thanksgiving. But this year, but day off, I think I can do it.
Nice, awesome. Um,
Oh.
yeah, for me wise, I'm gonna be here for a week. I might visit a friend this week in Sacramento and or in Daly City, but it all depends honestly. Depends on a lot of things. Like if hopefully if it clears up more, so I can be outside more, or just wear the mask. But my plan for this next week actually is um, chill, sleep, and work on stream because I'm gonna do that a lot and work on cosplay because because I'm gonna be going to Anime at Los Angeles in early January and um the stuff I have here I need to work on this week or this next week to get them done or as close as I can so I can bring with me down south. What I realized as I was planning this all out is like, wait a minute, I do not have a stone machine down there. So I need to find a way to get a sewing machine or go to a friend's place down south to work on cosplays. I read somewhere you can rent one or you can go to a place to sew, so I'm not too sure, but I'll figure it out. But I'm trying to get as much done as I can up here to bring down with me, and my jacket. Bring my jacket down too, because it's getting kind of cold down south. Kind of, not too bad like up here.
What's this clip? I need. I'm gonna try to watch this clip.
Hang on, I'll click it. I'll take the bullet. Oh, and there goes his face. There goes Greg's face.
Probably edit on there because
My camera's been fucking up. This laptop is
Oh,
on its way out, dude.
motherfucker! You asshole! Of course
Clip
you.
is.
Of course you would link that clip just because. It's the part where it says about horse sex, or that one clip that we did long ago in the after show.
10 months ago. I'm waiting for it to load because it's so weak time on this laptop.
Of course you would. Of course you would bring it up for there. Just because we're live, it's like, oh yeah, remember this clip? Yeah, yeah. Fuck you. That's whatever. It's whatever. I don't care.
Into it.
I don't care. I do it for the entertainment and peoples. Speaking of which, now that I'm actually here, I'm gonna up.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on, stop talking for just a second because I need to hear exactly what we said.
I'll play the clip on stream just for some content or for
I forgot
context.
about that.
Probably edit on there because I'm.
Oh
I'm
my
get some
God,
food,
that's funny.
'cause I'm hungry.
Yeah, same here.
So let's
Now that I've seen a giant horse dick, I'm hungry as hell.
yeah. Nothing gets me more hungry than seeing a giant
Stop!
floppy.
Stop there! Stop there! This is on the internet.
Yes, but it's on our internet. It's on our.
Oh God. The things we say sometimes. I mean, I'm not complaining. That's just the price we pay. So, you know, hey.
What's funny? What's really funny about it is like, I say something arguably worse than you are going to say, yet I try to stop you from saying what you were going to say.
Yeah. We're a bad influence on each other sometimes. uh,
You could make a compilation that's just like weird shit streamers have said.
oh yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Or like, take this what the streamer said out of context.
Yeah. Basically. Basically.
And then present it to some mom that watches Fox News. Watch her freak out.
what kind of stuff are you watching? What are you doing?
And I got you, Blair. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, like I recently saw this. I recently saw this thing where a mom was trying to convince some people on a news channel that Fortnite was like ruining her children, and and like the male anchor was like, he was actually arguing it in a really good way, where he's just like, you know, you're sitting here saying that it's Fortnite's fault, but you know, if it was some other game, wouldn't you be blaming it on that game instead? Like straight up throwing a wrench into her fucking argument.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she was just like, no, I think it's Fortnite because of this and this. Like, no, you're picking on Fortnite because you don't like how video games are popular, because you're old and don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, like, it's popular, so it's an easy target.
Yeah. It's the
But
equivalent.
we've
Alright, go ahead.
seen that for years.
Yeah. It's the equivalent of seeing somebody saying, basically saying, old man yells at clouds.
Yeah, it's sorry about the crinkle.
That's
Do you remember Jack Thompson?
Oh, how could I forget? Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, the same shit.
Yeah, basically.
Same shit, different day.
Yep, basically. Oh, actually, Hank, do I still have that link? Actually, I want to go through that list myself. Okay. I want to give my quick gut reactions on that nominees. So,
Oh yeah.
Game of the Year, off the bat, Spider-Man. These are just gut reactions from what I've.
You know, when you say gut reactions, well, we don't have to do gut reactions. We have more time, but is that who you think is going to win or who you want to win?
I guess both. I could definitely see it's between God of War and Spider-Man. Like, God of War is a fucking fantastic game. The story's really good. The art is fantastic. But
So here's my argument. Here's my argument against God of War for Spider-Man.
Okay.
In favor of Spider-Man. With God of War, there's a lot of downtime between combat. And I'm not talking about puzzle solving. I'm not talking about dial or like cutscenes. I'm talking about like, there are lots of moments where you and Atreyu are just, or Atreus are just walking through locations. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying when you look at it to Spider-Man, a lot of what made Spider-Man so much fun was that a lot of those dialogue moments, you're swinging through the city and having fun swinging through the city.
Okay.
Getting from point A to point B.
I could definitely see that, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just, to me, there's more to do in Spider-Man with dialogue than there was in God of War.
It's gonna be interesting because like people can. I feel like when it comes to these games, but in particular God of War and Spider Man, like I feel like you're kind of choosing between two types of people. Like
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
it's to each their own, and like it's very hard to kind of pick one or the other. They're both all of them are great, fantastic games. Um,
Well, I
but
like how I will say I do like how the Game Awards has the nominees get voted on
mm-hmm.
because it's not by like a panel of like 7 old people who don't give a shit. It's by like they go they're like all right games are like they pick out people who work at these different locations.
Mm-hmm.
And there's got to be a list on their website of the people.
Actually, a good point. Actually, hang on, I got the power. Let me look it up. Let's see the Game Awards.
Yeah, I knew there was last year. I actually talked about it on the podcast.
We did actually. Yeah, there were judges. Let
I
me
think there was even some Funhouse people on there. Like Lawrence was a part of it.
let's see. Uh, hmm, the host advisory board. Okay, here we go. The Game Awards advisory helps guys and advance the mission of Game Awards. Oh no, this is actually not. Okay, it's not the judges. This is just the board. Hang on, what? Let's see. It's not involved in the selection of the award nominees or winners and learns the results of jury voting at the same time as the general public. Huh. Okay. Hmm. I guess they have. I guess it's not listed here. Yeah, I don't see nothing on who the judges are. I guess they're keeping it secret this year.
I'm looking too because you might be missing it. Because I know it wasn't easy to find when I.
Hmm. Let me look up 2018 judges. No, maybe. Oh wait, hold on. Is this voting jury? Interesting. Maybe they'll unveil it closer because I do see the website. I do, but this is for or I do see the link. I'll pop it in chat. But where is
Blair
it?
just did that.
Here it is. So it's on the
I
website.
remember it was hard to find last year too.
Yeah, it's on the website. I post the link in chat. It is on the website on the 2018 version, but it says the jury for 2017 will include ballots from the following 51 global media outlets. So I'm assuming maybe they'll update that page for this year's, and they haven't really announced who's the judges yet. So that's my only guess. So all right, that's good to know.
Well, Blair just said that the hyperlink is down to the judge page.
It might be the same link I put. I let me check. Let's see.
I'm looking. I'm looking on his link.
Same here. Let me go down to the bottom. I don't see. Let's see. What does it? No. Yeah, I don't see anything. I mean, there are voting outlets given free or advanced copies. It is started internal credibility. They meet our balloting deadline. Publishers. Okay, so yeah, there is a jury. It seems like they haven't given that information of who it is or which outlets. So, at least from what I've seen so far on the site.
The Game Awards list of.
I was gonna say. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna unveil it unless it's already out there, which I can't find it. But seems like they've not unveiled that information out yet. So
You know why it might not be out yet? because they're still getting the okay by some people who maybe want to be anonymous.
Good point. Very good point. Okay. Good to know. Let's see. So okay, so Spider-Man for me for best game of the year or game of the year. Best ongoing game. Let's see between Destiny 2, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, and Tom Clancy. You know what?
So
I'm gonna say a game that I think has come around. I won't play it, but I think that low key has been getting support. Well, yeah, has been getting some pretty good support. No Man's Sky.
so I'm gonna look at this list as well with you because this is the best ongoing game, right?
Yeah.
Do you know why I said Fortnite versus the other ones?
Because Epic has a lot of money and they can kind of throw their weight around as far as like supporting the game in various ways.
Yeah, but a lot of these other companies, like Epic, has extra money. That's what they have. These other developers have plenty of money, Siege and especially Overwatch. However, weekly content, literally weekly
Oh,
content.
yeah, you're right. You're right. You're totally right on that. Very good point. Very,
And
very, very good point.
yeah, so it's I'm not saying that Fortnite and the other ones or like their content's better. I mean, we've argued that I've already talked about how people are losing interest in Overwatch because the content that's being provided is. But Fortnite literally has weekly content.
Okay. Okay.
That's outstanding.
Yeah. That makes the most perfect sense. That makes sense. Best game direction: A Way Out, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2.
So, so let's discuss this. Let's not just do knee jerk because I think that was fun for the podcast, but for this we have more time.
Mm-hmm.
So when it talks about game direction, it's talking about well how the story is told and how it is cinematography wise, direction, acting, all that, like a list of shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know that A Way Out, Detroit Become Human, both those games are heavy story, right?
Yeah.
God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2 are story, but you can dick around in all three of those games and go away from the story.
Well, I
Not
would
so much.
I would say not as much as you think in Red Dead Redemption 2 because if you are on a mission or on a story mission and you decided to venture off from it, like say you're going from one end to the other and you decide to do like walk off to the direction, like it will give you the hey don't do this, and then at some point it will say like mission failed essentially.
So does Spider-Man.
Doesn't
That
it?
wasn't my point though, Anthony.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, it says you're leaving mission area is what it says.
Yeah.
But that's not my point. My point is that A Way Out and Detroit Become Human are literally story. Like you make small decisions while stretching out a narrative. There is no exploration. There is no side quests that have nothing to do with the main story. But God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2 do have side stories. They do have side quests. But now let's talk about how Red Dead Redemption 2, Spider-Man, and God of War tell their story versus the other two. Right?
Mm-hmm.
First off, A Way Out, fantastic story. Terrible acting. Detroit Become Human. Okay acting, okay story. But again, both are straight narratives. God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead are all well, I guess God of War is a semi-open world, not entirely open world, but
Yeah.
it kind of becomes more open world once you get the lake.
Right.
But uh, but let's talk about their stories. You know, like you have God of War. You know, it's Atreus and his dad trying to get to the land of the giants, which I can't remember that fucking name, um, and spread the ashes of his mom. What's Spider-Man's story? It's all over the place.
Yep.
Like there is a kind of through plot, but who ends up being the final bad guy? Somebody who becomes a bad guy halfway through the game. And not even halfway, like 2/3 of the way through the game. But I mean, that's comic book storytelling right there for you. Red Dead, Jesus Christ, it literally at like halfway through the game becomes an entirely new game.
Mm-hmm.
It does not have a direct story. So, for best direction, my argument is God of War. Did any of that make sense? Did you follow me on that?
Yeah. Yeah. God of War is very strong and it definitely hits on all points. Um, so I definitely agree with you on that.
It just stays on it stays on the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take deviations. It doesn't, but it still allows you to have fun outside of it. Like
Right. Right.
it's like oh, we just stopped on the tracks right here. You can take a little detour and kind of check out the countryside, but right back to the tracks. You know, Spider-Man, its train track for the story like takes a bunch of fucking turns and twists while also stopping along the way. And Red Dead's just like, do you want to travel from LA to New York? Because that's how long the trip's going to be, with a lot of stops in between. So
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I've noticed that too with that game. Um, best narrative: Detroit Become Human, God of War, Life is Strange 2, Episode 1, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2. Best narrative between these
well,
best
my
stories.
argument kind of goes into this one too.
Yeah, so you could easily say God of War, but like this is more story heavy base category.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'm not talking like the
yeah,
last one had a lot to do with gameplay and
yeah,
how it runs, but for the story itself, I still think God of War. I really do because, like I said, it's you're never confused about what they're trying to do.
hmm
From the get of the game, you know what they're trying to do.
I have a
Like what's Spider-Man's thing? Take out this villain, then take out that villain,
yeah,
then take out this villain.
I have a gut feeling that Detroit Become Human is gonna win this. I don't want to it, and I believe that God of War should win it, but I have a gut feeling that it's gonna become Detroit Become Human.
Detroit Become Human is very much the same as other um, David Cage stories,
I know it's
where there's too many like plot threads,
yeah.
and you kind of have to pay really close attention to know which one is the straight. Well, like, is the one with Connor the main plot, like, or is it the girl? Like,
Oh,
it's just
good point. Very good point.
yeah.
I have a gut.
And I haven't
feeling.
seen anything on Life is Strange, so I can't weigh in on
Yeah,
that.
I mean that's true. We could be completely wrong, and Life is Strange ends up winning. Which hey, Life is Strange, people really enjoy that game.
If
Not
I go off of my opinion on the first game, dude, like, I didn't like it, so. But
yeah, sure thing.
people love it, so yeah.
Best art direction: Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Octopath Traveler, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Return of Obra Dinn. I'm again, I kind of feel like kind of a repeating record on here, but like God of War the art is so good. Like that game just oozes. Like it's not the thing about it is like it is not particularly a setting or a color theme like you see in many other games. They use the entire
Oh, it
palette.
changes.
Yes,
It,
absolutely.
because it takes place within the fantasy realm of Norse mythology. They go to different realms, and each realm has its entirely different color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it is pretty, but it's on the same level of pretty as Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Like it's scenery based.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's be honest, when you get close to faces in either game, you can see the uncanny valley.
Oh yeah.
But if you're looking at shit from a distance, like just Arthur Morgan riding through the wilderness, or Katrina, is it Cassandra?
Cassandra. Yeah.
Riding through an area, you're just like, the scenery looks really pretty, but it's the same. It's arguably the same. Now, if we were to go like Octopath Traveler or Return of Obra Dinn, they're meant to be artsy fartsy. They're meant to be categorically beautiful to our eye because we are trained that way. But I would argue that Octopath Traveler isn't necessarily deserves to win this award, just because their character designs are very much on par with just 8-bit RPG.
Yeah. It's cool looking. Don't get me wrong. Like it's a very cool looking game. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like their diorama set, where it looks like the pieces are a little like there's a shoebox and they're inside of it. You're just playing around in there. That's great, but it's not terribly new. I've seen that with Paper Mario.
Yeah.
And then Obra Dinn just has that. I only see black and white movies in 8mm in the theater.
God damn.
So I would argue God of War as well as my point.
Same here. Best score: Celeste, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, New Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, Red Dead Redemption 2. I can't really. I'm not really. I'm not qualified for many things, but like, at least in this category, I don't feel like I'm qualified to really answer that question, except for like what I've seen from God of War and Spider-Man. Other than that, I haven't really listened to the soundtrack of the other games.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ni no Kuni 2. I can't really put my foot on that one because I haven't seen or heard anything of that game. Spider-Man is classic superhero-esque symphony score. Kind of boring. Octopath Traveler, kind of boring 8-bit RPG sounds, stuff you would hear in early Final Fantasy games. Apparently I fucking choked on my spit there. Jesus.
What's wrong there, buddy?
Red Dead Redemption 2's entire score is inspired by spaghetti westerns. Yeah. Kind of boring, nothing new. But here's the thing: you take God of War's soundtrack, and they did. Bear McCreary did something very clever. He didn't just go, "Let's revamp God of War's music." He went, "Let's take the idea of Viking style music." What is associated with Vikings nowadays, heavy metal, mix that with past God of War music that's supposed to be epic, see what we get. Then he changed that up with every realm that they went into. Like, it's really clever. However, as great as God of War soundtrack is, Celeste is just a little bit better. Because the narratives of Celeste... Have you played Celeste, Anthony?
I have not. I know I should. It's definitely... is a platformer. I've seen a sped run at SGDQ, which I really enjoyed. So I definitely should get around to playing that game.
Watching a speed run of it is a disservice to what the game is. Because I played it on easy mode, where you can't die and you have infinite boost ability. The story is about this girl who has... a lot of mental illness, and I don't mean in strong mental illness. I'm talking about she has self-identity issues. She has anxiety. She has depression. A lot of internal struggle that manifests itself as an enemy that tries to kill her. And it's not until the later parts of the game does she realize that she can't keep fighting herself. It's not going to work. She has to work with herself to achieve her goals. It is a message that means so much to so many people who have played it all the way through. Here's the clever part. Each piece of music represents what Celeste is feeling.
Oh, that's cool. That's really
That's
cool.
why it deserves to win.
Mm, mm, that's really cool. Damn,
Yep.
I should play that game. How much is it
So
actually?
like when you are trying to get through an area that's really tough and you start to feel a little anxiety, the music is a little bit faster and it feels like you need to keep moving. Something's wrong and you just got to keep going. When it's calm, it's great. The music's calm. There's and it just like all over the board with that shit. It's so fucking brilliant.
Hmm, I have to look into how much that game is. Actually, Valer, you're in chat. Tell me how much that game is. I might actually buy it tonight, depending on how much it is. Um, best audio
I got my
design.
Switch actually.
Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, Horizon 4. Ha ha ha, Valer. God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm just gonna go on a limb here and say that it's between Call of Duty and Forza Horizon 4 for best audio. Um, just on an audio sense, just pure audio design, I
I
would.
mean, it's easy to say Forza because they had a thing to concentrate on. There are so many different potential things to fuck up on in the other games. So many things to fuck up on.
That's true. I would also point out that Call of Duty kind of was the king of that realm for at least early on when it came to audio design, especially in Call of Duty
Sure.
2, and that's kind of been their trademark for quite some time. So with Black Ops 4, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the same case again.
Honestly, I see Forza winning it, but I think if it doesn't, Black Ops will win it.
Yeah, people love their cars, man. Uh, best performance. Hmm. Brian Teacher as Connor, Christopher Judge as Kratos, Melisati Maha as Cassandra, Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan, Yuri Lanthral as Peter Parker.
So I would want Melissa Anthony to or Yuri to win it because their characters are more broad. But I feel that Arthur Morgan, Kratos, and Connor are cardboard.
Yeah,
The characters,
yeah,
not the actors. The characters
yeah,
are cardboard.
yeah.
So
They are. They definitely are.
I mean, don't, like every actor on this list did a phenomenal job with their
Oh,
character.
absolutely,
But
absolutely. I think I definitely heard a lot of good. I've heard a lot of good talk
I guess
about
maybe,
Cassandra from Assassin's
yeah.
Creed.
But she's great because she's like the character itself, whether you play male or female,
Mm-hmm.
um, is sarcastic, but also like has emotion, and it's just it's a great character. But I was also thinking, Anthony, I just fucking thought of this. I don't know why.
Hmm.
I would be okay with Christopher Judge winning too because he is the first one to ever make Kratos sound sympathetic.
Yeah, that that is something that I don't think in 2018 anybody would have said about Kratos if we're talking about Kratos of yesteryear. Because what was Kratos' like personality or like his like just him if you talked about Kratos back then it was like Kratos is basically an angry man about his family being cursed on his body and him just killing gods. That was it. Like there was like no way you can really relate or sympathize with him. He was just the culture of that era of that type of character. But with the God of War 4 game that came out and how his character developed and how it changed to what it used to be, even definitely in scenes where like he's like kind of struggling to get up, it's like he's not as young as he used to or recover as fast.
Yeah.
He's definitely has changed, and you can definitely see that. Like it was one of the reasons why a lot of people jumped on God of War 4 is because like we gave a shit about Kratos.
Yeah.
So
It was a different side to Kratos, and he did a really good job of bringing that out. I
mhm.
just like I'm sure Roger Clark has done a lot of great roles. Arthur Morgan is about as stoic and hard as like any other cowboy character.
Yeah.
He plays the archetype super fucking well, but I just don't. I mean, he didn't really bring anything super special to the role that I thought was outstanding. And then Brian Deckard can only do so much with David Cage characters. So
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, side note, did you see the clip of a signing a signing event with Brian Detcher, and there was a Hank cosplayer that was waiting in line and was about to go up, and like Brian just got up and just was like, "Oh my God, Hank!" Like he went up and hugged him. It was just like, "Oh wow, that's awesome." Everybody in the audience was just like, "Oh," because Connor and Hank. So it was a really cool moment. It's a really cool clip if you can find it. He's like, yeah, he's an amazing person, absolutely. Oh yeah, my pick. I would have to go with. I like Cassandra in this one. I could definitely see her winning it. Games for Impact. Oh, I'll take that back. This was actually a category we could have actually picked on. My bad. I misread. That was the category I'm thinking of. Games for Impact. That's right. Where games were they meant something, or like it was like a message was in it. So okay, we both can choose these actually. So 11 Memories Retold, Celeste, Florence, Life is Strange 2 Episode 1, The Missing, JJ Macfield, and The Island of Memories.
Uh, so I don't know anything about um, The Missing or Life is Strange or Florence or 11 Memories Retold. So
Default Celeste.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, default Celeste. I mean, I'm sure these games deserve to win, but I don't know the message within them, and that's the point of Games for Impact. You know,
Absolutely.
do they mean something to people? Do they have an impact? Do they have they helped some people? And I know that Celeste has, but I don't know that the other ones have.
Right.
I know Life is Strange 1 helped people, but I did Life is Strange 2 help people. So
Yeah. I'm kind of the same with you. Like I kind of had to minus myself out of this category just because I haven't played these games or haven't like really watched it close enough to really give an opinion. This one I can actually. Best independent game: Celeste, Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Return of Oberdin, and The Messenger.
I
Fucking
played 3 of the 5.
The Messenger is so fucking good. God, I want to play the game so badly. Oh man, but also
So I would still argue that Dead Celeste is the best of them. I love the Messenger. Don't get me wrong, but the problem with the Messenger is that after you get to a certain point, which is basically like it is a platform game, it then turns into a like an open world kind of exploration sort of game, and you have to collect all these coins, and I don't know. It's just like halfway through the game, it kind of loses its steam. It just loses its pacing.
I see.
Dead Cells is fucking great, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
absolutely.
Dead Cells to me is fast paced. Rogue Legacy, played it,
Hey,
but
nothing wrong with them.
I mean you're not. I guess, but uh, um, but Celeste has that message. Celeste has a very unique play style, platform puzzle-ish sort of thing, and I just adore it. So
Yeah, I would also
Mine
throw.
goes to
I would also throw Into the Breach as a really good game. I've yet to play it, but like it is a strategy.
what is that game?
It's a strategy game. It's the same guys who made FTL. They made
Oh, okay.
yeah they made this. It's on the Switch actually. You can get it. It is a strategy game where, you go by a grid system, kind of like a all squares, and you choose where your mech is going to fight these other monsters. And I'm not too clear on on the details. It's been a while since I've seen it or people talk about it, but like as far as I remember, when it comes to Into the Breach, you basically end up dying and you come back and you get. I can't remember. Like it's a good game. I just like all I remember is like people were talking about it's like a really good game and something I would really get into myself. It's like a it's kind of in a way like Advance Wars in a way. I don't know. I have to look. I have to go back and check it out. But like it's a good game. I suggest to check it out. If there's a demo for it on Switch, you definitely if you're into strategy games, that is.
Is there a demo on the Switch?
If there is, definitely try it out. But my vote here is Dead Cells because the game is so good. Like, well, I should really go into detail more on that. The game is good because, there is the game is definitely centered around a roguelike, or rogue Castlevania like, which is a first of its kind. Um, and the game always changes where the enemy placements are for the most part, or sort of like where you're going from one end to another. Your character is always evolving from where you start to where you are at the end of the game, and you get more powerful as you go through. Uh, in any
Okay, I would.
run.
Can I make a? Can I do something for you? Can I
Yeah.
do something with you?
Yeah.
I'm going to. I'm going to counter something on you.
Okay.
Play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
We've had Castlevania games, right?
Yeah,
We've
we have.
had roguelike games.
Yes, we have.
Mashing the two together doesn't necessarily make a completely new game. However, Celeste is entirely different. I'm not saying Dead Cells is bad by any measure. I'm just saying Dead Cells isn't as good as Celeste because it's similar shit. Not shit, similar stuff.
I was about to say I would have smacked you. Virtually. Papa. And I would counter. So then, what we had games like Celeste in terms of like platformers. What
You
makes
haven't.
Celeste? What would make so? In terms of platforming, not story wise. Like story wise, there's a different, deep, meaningful message
I
in that.
personally, I personally haven't played a puzzle platformer that had the same control scheme as Celeste. I haven't. If you have, please let me know what it is because I haven't.
Hmm. Okay. What's the how is the controls layout for Celeste? Because I haven't played it.
Well, first off, it also has a upgrade system, so you can hang on to walls a little bit longer. You can extend your hitbox so that you can take more hits. You can change it so that way you have a double jump. Um, but when you enter an area, it's a box, and then you have to try to figure out how to get through that box by using clever physics-based puzzles, or just being quick on your feet and thinking about it. Um, Whereas Dead Cells is very much like Castlevania or Rogue Legacy, where you get through an area, kill all the enemies as fast as you can, or just try to get through the area as fast as you can to get to the boss, to get to the end.
Mm-hmm.
With Dead Cells, I can mindlessly play that game. I can't mindlessly play Celeste.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I was gonna say when you're talking about like any other game that is similar to Celeste control wise, or if that matter, like the first thing that came up to mind was I Want to Be the Guy or Bashi. It's like the first thing I can think of.
It's not like those games because those games are just platformers, just simple platformers.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure there's a game out there that I'm not thinking of that is like an example of what Celeste is platforming wise.
but the fact that you can't think of it this fast says a lot. Says a lot more than you think it doesn't.
That's true. Although the
Um,
bulls that says about me though, like, like, well, okay, I take that back. I podcast games for 10 years, so like I should know this. So yeah, no, you got me
Again,
there. You got me there.
I want to make it very clear. I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that Dead Cells sucks because it doesn't suck. But like it deserves to be on this list, and there's a reason that we're arguing between Dead Cells and Celeste.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're two of the best games on the list.
Hmm.
I'd just like to point out that I think Celeste is just a better game in general.
I will say this on Dead Cells on my point on why I think it should win this category. And uh this what's we're looking for, disclaimers note. um Motion Twin did give us a early copy of Dead Cells, and we did do a sponsor stream. That was the first game we actually played on What's on Tap long ago. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, take it with a grain of salt. um I have never
No,
played.
Dead Cells. I think Dead Cells. You want to talk? We want to talk about the positivity of Dead Cells, Anthony. Like, I've gotten a bunch of people to play the game. A lot of people who played the game just go, "It's super fucking addicting. It's a lot of fun," and I don't feel like that when I lose my cells that I'm like losing too much.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Um,
The I will say that with Dead Cells, I never had a point of saying that I want to speedrun a game, and Dead Cells has definitely given me like that urge or that really wanting to do so, and I I have given a thought to speedrun a game here and there, but Dead Cells is definitely the game that has tempted me the most. Just because the game I really enjoy playing, the movement, the combat system is fantastic. You could play it very fast. You can be very slow as well. Like there's a lot of things I really enjoy
buy
with Dead
buy and
Cells.
buy and play Celeste, and then we can have this conversation in further detail. But
All right,
as of right now, I feel like it's a game you have to experience firsthand in order to really have this conversation.
that's
And I've
true.
experienced
Yeah,
both in quite detail. So
that's true.
um, that's the reason I'm saying that. But anyway, we should definitely move on because I'm getting tired.
Okay, best mobile game: Donut County, Florence, Fortnite, PUBG Mobile, Rain, Game of Thrones. I'm gonna say just because it's the most popular game in the world, it's probably gonna be Fortnite.
It'll probably be Fortnite. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with you there.
Best VR game: Astrobot, Beat Saber, Firewall Zero Hour, Moss, and Tetris Effect. I'm gonna go out on a limb here because it has recently been talked about, but it's also the fact that the person who composed and worked on Luminous worked on this. I'm going Tetris Effect. That is a fucking great game.
Well, I'm sure it's a great game. I just don't think it's gonna win. I think it's gonna be Beat Saber.
I I
There's a
would
few reasons. I think Beat Saber is more popular. I've heard a lot of good things.
give it time. Yeah, give it time. Tetris Effect is going to be good, or going to be picking up pretty soon. I say that and I kind of defeat my own argument. Now Tetris Effect is really good. Like the music, the way that the levels way the levels look is fucking fantastic.
I
It
understand. I get you. I get you. Just
I'm
pointing
sorry.
out.
Sorry. I have a hard bone for Tetris Effect. So
I also I also watched fucking Elspeth play Moss, and that game is fucking adorable and awesome at the same time. So, um, I don't know. I mean, I think I really do think it'll be Beat Saber that wins, because it's a really stellar fucking rhythm game that works super well with VR. So
that's true. I will throw out there. I've been hearing a lot of good talk about Astrobot recently. So people are saying like,
I haven't heard it. I haven't heard a goddamn thing about Astrobots.
I've been hearing. What was it? I was listening to Giant Bomb, and Dan Reichard um, has went out and said like Astrobot is possibly the best VR game he's played thus far. And that's kind of hard to
Wow.
say nowadays, but that's high praise about Astrobot. And I've been hearing almost the same vein from other people, from other gaming outlets as well. So, but I, from my money, I would definitely put on Tetris Effect. If I was a betting man, I would put it on Tetris Effect. Best action game: Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Dead Cells, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Far Cry 5, and Mega Man 11.
I think Black Ops is gonna win this one.
Yeah, I won't be surprised. I really want Mega.
I don't think any of the games are bad on this list.
No.
And all of them deserve to win.
Mm-hmm.
I think Far Cry 5 isn't necessarily as much of an action game as it is just an exploration game.
Yeah.
Call of Duty is definitely an action game. Dead Cells is 100% an action game.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny can be an action game. It mostly is an action game. Unless you're not sitting in the tower dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And Mega Man 11, as much as I appreciate being on the list, it's a much slower Mega Man than I think most people are used to.
Yeah.
But
I would love Mega Man 11 to win this category, but I think it's gonna be Black Ops. So.
yeah. We could be completely surprised too.
Oh
so.
yeah, absolutely. Hey, first we're wrong and in a very happy way. But like, yeah, all right, awesome. Best action adventure game: Assassin's Creed, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's action adventure. It means that it's like you're exploring, you're going around, you're having fun while you're exploring, and I think Spider-Man is the antithesis of that.
Absolutely.
Sure,
Absolutely.
in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you do have an open world, but at the same time, there's places you cannot explore because there's enemies that are so fucking high powered or high level that you just can't do anything against them. But not so in Spider-Man. You can go from one side of Manhattan to the other in the very beginning of the game. So
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
I would say that Red Dead is an adventure game.
Oh man.
I would consider it action.
I feel like Red Dead is a test of your patience. Like it is.
It can be. It can be.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're looking for in a game too. That's why I don't consider it action. I don't think that Red Dead is anywhere near the word action as for some reason it is in this category. It's an adventure, but it's not action.
Yeah.
And Tomb Raider, I wouldn't. It's definitely an action adventure game, but Shadow of the Tomb Raider isn't as good as the previous titles by a long shot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Best role playing game: Dragon Quest XI, Monster Hunter World, Ni no Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, Pillars of Eternity 2. I'm gonna agree with you again. Like Monster Hunter World, I think it's gonna take this. Not and the reason being is because the previous Monster Hunter games has never really hit it big in the U.S. It's always been huge in Japan, but it never crossed over to the U.S. As big as it was in Japan. Monster Hunter World changed that, and it was very successful for both Japan and U.S. And is I believe the most selling Capcom game thus far in its history. So, yeah. Best
next one.
fighting game: Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, Dragon Ball Fighters, Soul Calibur 6, Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition.
Now, here's my question for you before you choose. You've
Alright.
played all four of these games, right?
I played Soul Calibur, I played Dragon Ball, I played Street Fighter. I have not played Blaze Blue, but I've seen enough.
You've played a Blaze Blue, just not specifically Cross Tag Battle, right?
Well, you know what? Actually, I did for a little bit, but I was back in college. But I was like Blaze Blue Crosma is one of the versions of it. But I've seen enough. I have a good idea of what it is. I actually enjoy watching Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. It's actually really fun to watch.
Out of all the games, which do you think? And then you got to put this in category. You got to put this in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Control wise, play like fun wise, like for both casual and hardcore,
Mm-hmm.
and audience draw. Which game do you think has the best?
Dragon Ball Fighters.
Okay, yeah, all right. That was my thought process too.
Yeah, because I saw this list and I was like, when Dragon Ball Fighters came out, like it was one of the top games on like being played, but also sold a lot on Steam. At least when it came to the PC version, it definitely broke some records, and not to mention that Dragon Ball already has a very big casual appeal, and combine that with a game that a lot of people have been wondering, a lot of people have been asking, like if there was a good Dragon Ball fighting game, like what would that look like? And this was it. And Dragon Ball
Yeah,
is definitely definitely now. I want to say it's easy to pick up and at least learn the R auto combos and Dragon Ball Fighters, but it's also even if you're not wanting to pick up the game and learn, like just from a watching this perspective, like it is two things. It's definitely has that Dragon Ball appeal, and like it's like the anime, and also
There's
like
three fucking campaigns, and two of which are hilarious.
oh I forgot yes absolutely the story mode is actually good. It's actually really fun.
Because the first story mode is like it's the story and it's how everything happens and plays out and works.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the second one, the villain one, is fucking just straight comedy.
It's great.
And then the last one is just absurdity, and that's what makes it funny. So
Yeah, it's great. Um, best family game: Mario Tennis Aces, Nintendo Labo, Overcooked 2, Starlink Battle for Alice, and Super Mario Party. I am going to say Super Mario Party, as contradiction as that is, because we know Super Mario Party has. I mean, well, Mario Party in general has always been the opposite of like dividing people. But actually, from my time playing it at Extra, not Extra Life, during the Extra Life marathon, it was a lot of fun. Even though like it was obviously we're fighting against or we're playing against each other. Um, it was a good Mario Party. All the mini games were really fun to play, and there wasn't a moment where I felt bored at all playing that game. It was a lot of fun. So my vote's on Super Mario Party.
yeah, I agree with you. I think the only other one that could win in this category is Labo.
I was wondering if you're gonna choose Labo for this category because like I know you said.
Here's my thought process. I think Labo is great, but it's expensive, and
Oh,
it takes
true.
up a lot of space. There's a lot of build. Like that was I had more fun with it building the stuff than I did playing with it.
Mm,
But when you talk about family, like I think it's a really good like just thing to do with your kids. So,
absolutely.
but I
Best.
think Mario Party is just more entertaining in
Oh
general.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Easier to set up and play.
Mm-hmm. Mario Party. Best strategy game: BattleTech, Frostpunk, The Banner Saga 3, Valkyria Chronicles 4. Oh, Into the Breach is one from here too. I have to exclude myself from this category. I will say though that the two games or three games on here that I think are really good, and I actually intend to play them. Frostpunk is a really good game. Into the Breach again, it's a really good strategy
Who
game.
who do you think might win? Is the question.
I'm gonna say, God, I think it's gonna be Into the Breach. I think
Okay.
I think it's gonna win the category. Like underdog. I would love to see the Banner Saga 3 win. Banner Saga series is very underrated.
All right.
Uh, best sports racing. I'll probably just skip this.
Yeah, I think that honestly, one of the soccer ones is gonna win it.
Yeah. Best multiplayer game. Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Fortnite, Monster Hunter World, Sea of Thieves. It's probably gonna go to Fortnite, but
Yeah, realistically,
yeah,
it probably will go to Fortnite.
I
Like I
would,
said, they're doing weekly content, weekly updates.
yeah,
Like there's just a lot to do. I mean, I think the other one that could possibly win if Fortnite doesn't win is Black Ops.
I would have said Monster Hunter World, just because of like how big an effect it had on both U.S. and Japan, and that's never well Japan always, but like has how big an effect it has in U.S. and that's never happened before.
But as a judge, you don't put that into the play. You just think about it from the perspective of it as a game.
Mm,
I wouldn't do that.
mm,
I would feel like I'm not doing it the right service.
right.
Because here's the thing: the category says for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, introspective and of game genre. Nothing to do with how well it did or how popular it was.
Right. I could definitely see that point. I
Because
would
realistically, if that was the case, then Sea of Thieves wouldn't be on here because it did great in its first week, and then people stopped playing it and kind of shit on it because there was nothing to do.
no, yeah, Good point.
So
Very good point. Best student game, we can skip that because.
yeah, I have no idea about any of these games.
Best debut indie game. Donut County, Florence, Moss, The Messenger, and Yoko's Island Express. I
I
already
want
know.
Yoku to win, but
Who do you think's gonna win?
Donut County.
Okay.
I really think Donut County is going to win. I think a close second might be Messenger.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like if it's not Donut County, it will be The Messenger.
But I want
Yeah.
Yoku to win.
We'll see. We shall see. Best esports game. I'm gonna go with you with Overwatch because Overwatch is a lot more fun to watch. Not to.
I think when you look at CS:GO, Dota, Fortnite, and League of Legends competitive scenes, the views might be high on Twitch, but they're not anywhere else. Nobody cares about it anywhere else. Fortnite's or not Fortnite, but Overwatch League itself, not like the World Cup per se, but the Overwatch League itself. You know, it's been on ESPN and ABC and Disney XD, and when it's going on, you see number spikes in Overwatch players.
Yeah, I would. I do watch Dota 2, but only for the international, like every year, and it's always fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, Overwatch is definitely a much more friendly game to watch than these other ones, in my opinion. Although it does get hectic at times, but yeah, I would be Overwatch. Best esports player. I mean, like we already said, Sonic Fox. So, like,
yeah, I was looking at the list because I didn't hear you say Jay Jonak, and I would also argue that Jay Jonak is just as up there. That might be bias. Like the next category, London Spitfire is my bias.
well, yeah. I would say between I don't only remember. I only know two of these teams honestly, like London Spitfire and OG. That's the only teams I know, so I can't really vote per se, and I can skip esports coach because I don't have a context for any of these people except for Kristen out of OG. Yeah.
Yeah. But esports event, we agreed on that one.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. Like I love watching Evo. The international is always fun to watch too, as well, and also Overwatch League. But Evo is it's kind of made for that. Like it's made for those moments. So and again, it's very easy to follow, even if you're not a fighting game fan. Like you see, like one player is losing more health than another one, and can they throw like a punch before they die? So, esports house, skip that. Esports moment. Since I have a bit more knowledge with Dota 2, between Dota 2 and Evo, I'll still probably give it to Sonic Fox, just because of like how big of a change that was during the set, and you never see Guichi that pissed off in any context. He's always having fun in tournaments and smiling. When you saw him, like when Sonic Fox was trying to do this role, he just gave him the death stare, like hardcore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Sonic Fox again, he it wasn't intentional to ice him, but it was definitely a strategy.
I mean, arguably, I'll throw this out there. Like everyone says, he was icing Goichi, but realistically, he would have iced himself too, because the downtime was for both players.
I would say that, but no, actually no, I take that back. No. It was icing Goichi, but not Sonic Fox, and here's the reason why: is that if you were in that mindset, if you gain your ass kicked, you're literally just lost 3-0 to Goichi. Taking the time to kind of recollect yourself, or to kind of, in a way, just kind of restart your mind for another set does help. Now, it doesn't work all the time, but it does help. And momentum is a huge thing in fighting games, especially in this set. And it definitely benefits Sonic Fox in the end. And if it did affect, if Sonic Fox would have lost, then it's a mute point. A mute point. Um, but this definitely benefit.
Well, you and I both know first and foremost, just throwing this out here, that Sonic Fox's intention was to not ice Goichi.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He put it out there. He, like, that was not his intention.
But my argument, Anthony, is that both players had the same downtime, meaning that both had time to recollect their thoughts and recollect themselves, put them on the same playing field. So if, let's say, Goichi did get iced from that situation, let's say Goichi's here and Sonic Fox is here.
Mm-hmm.
By doing what they did, they're now here. See what I'm getting at?
Right. I would also say momentum was huge, though, and that
I'm not disagreeing with you in that fashion. I'm just pointing out that the term to ice is to cool someone down. But Sonic Fox was in the finals, and if he's warmed up as well, which he should have been, then he iced himself a little bit too. See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
It does make sense a little bit.
I see what you're saying, but like I think I guess I'm still thinking it's more of a sports thing, like because the momentum of one player was doing so well against this other player, but then
I'm not saying Goichi wasn't iced. I'm just saying that Sonic Fox also iced himself a little bit.
Yeah.
But icing himself is what he needed. Like he needed to recollect himself.
Absolutely. So, okay. So the content creator of the year, I didn't realize it was a community award. So it looks like it might be a voting thing with that. I outside of Ninja, I don't have really contacts of these other content creators. I know I should. Actually, I probably should look up these other people actually just to see what they're about.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna disqualify myself on choosing that category.
Yeah, I don't really care.
I'll say this: I like content creator of the year much better than what was it? What was it called? Like the
influential gamer.
Yeah, like I like this much, at least this title much better than what they're using previous years. So I enjoyed that. But there you go. There are our more thorough thoughts on all the categories for the Game Awards.
Yep. But I would like to end this because I am tired.
All right. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the after show. And as far as when the next podcast would be, TBA. It all depends on the scheduling for both of us. Actually, wait, what's today? Today's Saturday, right? Oh, wait, I'm still here. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see what happens in next week. Or this week. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll figure shit out.
I was gonna say next Saturday I work. Next Saturday and Sunday I work 3 p.m. to 10:30. So
okay.
We'll definitely have to figure out something, but it won't be next weekend.
Yeah.
Or if we do, it'll be super late and just recorded.
That's very true. Very true. So yeah, so that's gonna do it for us, guys. So thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you guys next.